What up, creationists? Just moving my #1 fan out of the way. I don't even know why it's in here. I mean, mostly because there's not enough room in my room, so, you know. Anyway, so it's another day. It is not as hot as it was on Friday when I filmed the previous Director's Collection, that being the Blu-ray 4K version, which I split into 2 videos because it was freaking long. So today we're doing the DVD one. I don't know if anyone actually asked for it, but I figured, because it does have actually different variety in it, mostly because these are films that I'd argue my dad bought over the past 20 years-ish, like whenever the fuck DVDs came out. Since DVDs started coming out, these are what he pretty much bought. So I'm going to show them off, because I guess I can. I'm going to skip a couple of the collections here, because, I mean, some of them we don't really care about. Or at least, I say we as in us, not as in dad, because of course. So we're gonna go with filmmakers, most of all, and I guess I can briefly mention some other ones. So let's jump into skipping the Beatles one. Let's go into the Bogart collection. I mean, I'm already off the bat. I'm going not director but actor with Humphrey Bogart. Where is Humphrey Bogart? Alright, I believe these are in alphabetical order, not in order of release, which is perfectly fine. So let's just jump into it. So we got The African Queen. Jesus, Catherine Hepburn? I haven't seen a lot of these films. We got Beat the Devil, which is a really odd kind of cover, like it looks really bad, but it seems to be legit. The Big Sleep, that's a pretty famous one. Everyone knows The Big Sleep, right? Yeah? Alright, well, if you don't know The Big Sleep, you definitely know Casablanca. Out of all these films, I've definitely watched Casablanca, and this version, even just on DVD, looks absolutely amazing. It pretty much looks like a 4K version of a black and white film that is on DVD. It's superb. Continuing, we have Dark Passage, which I believe other people, that's pretty known enough, I guess. We have Key Largo. I really haven't watched any of these. The Maltese Falcon, I've been meaning to get around to that one for a while. God, the amount of people who's going to be like, what? You call yourself a film buff and you haven't seen the Maltese Falcon? Jesus Christ. I mean, I don't think you guys actually sound like that. That's just an impression of myself, saying that to myself because I criticize myself for not watching movies like this. The Petrified Forest. I mean, what am I doing in my life? I'm going to work. The Treasure of Sierra Madre. Madre. And then, lucky last, we have To Have and Not Have. To Have and Have Not. Have not, have not. Have not. For reference sake, here, let me jot you down. Oh my god, we're going mobile. Hi, how's it going? This isn't an impressionist video. Because there are way too many films, I'm just gonna jot you around here. Okay, so, this is our Bond collection. So we've got the Sean Connery Bond collection, starting with, see, look, just Bogart right the crap here. Then we go in the Bond, you got Dr. No, From Russia With Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice, and Diamonds Are Forever. And then a whole bunch more. I think we're missing one, or no, we just took some films out of here and put them elsewhere because we're still kind of adjusting this place. Since getting a lot of the Blu-rays that we used to have on DVD, I've gotten rid of a lot of the DVDs, and I haven't fixed up the DVD collection since, so that's a thing. Yeah. So yeah, we have, I think almost, if not all, probably not all of, but we've got a lot of the Bond films. My dad loves James Bond. I don't dive into the idea of, oh, why do you like this character or these films? I definitely know that the Sean Connery ones are absolutely phenomenal. And at least 2 of the Daniel Craig ones are really good. Or definitely just 2 of them are really good so far. That being not Quantum of Solace, what the hell? Casino Royale and Skyfall. So yeah, let's move on to our next collection. I think I can get this one out of the slot. Just gotta put you back. Hey, how's it going? Alright, our next one is in, I mean, these are mostly, I don't know if they're all directed by him, but I definitely know they all star him. Is that on an odd angle? It kind of is, isn't it? Sure, let's roll with that. So this is our, I was about to say Kaplan. Chaplin collection. Starting with, if they go that way, then realistically you'd start over here. We have the Chaplin Review. Yes, that's the one. Look at that. That's a collection. That's got A Dog's Life, Shoulders Arms, Sunny Side, A Day's Pleasure, The Idle Class, Payday, and The Pilgrim. It's a number of films. I think they were all short films. Then you've got an actual feature, The Circus. The question of whether I'll get these on Blu-ray someday is maybe. City Lights, of course, with that iconic Chaplin face. Yeah. The Kid. The question is, which one's the kid? Trying to make a good face for the thumbnail without getting a reflection from the camera. And of course, the #1 legend film, of course. The #1 legend, Jesus. The Great Dictator. Classic Chaplin. The Gold Rush. I've seen this one, that's for sure. I think I've grown up with most of these ones. Of recent, I've rewatched The Gold Rush, and I think I rewatched Modern Times, but I cannot recall for the life of me if I've rewatched Modern Times or not. And then lucky last we have, which is this one I've watched the most of, the Chaplin The Legend Goes On box set, which has like all of his short films. I mean, like, look at that. Like, can I focus? Like, look, that's disc 1, disc 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it has all these short films. I've watched quite a lot of these ones. I'd say for the most part they're pretty good. Some of the films are interesting to watch. Because, of course, you know, we live in the era of sound, colour, and, you know, sound. But these are still quite fun. I like watching old black and white films sometimes. Not exactly to be like, oh, I wish I was growing up in these days, because firstly, I live in Australia. This is like the peak time in Australia, of all life in Australia currently. Yeah, it's... Black and white films are pretty good, yeah. I mean, I really don't see anything wrong with black and white, to be completely fair. Like, it's pretty much a limitation that they had, like silent films were a limitation, but if you do black and white cinematography is some of the best cinematography, because it's just so stark and contrast, which is exactly the point of black and white photography most of the time. Something of which I have studied for a few years now. Bond, Chaplin... Oh, okay. This one we're going to jump up to the top. This is the Eastwood Collection. We start with this bad boy, which is the 35 Years, 35 Films box set, which literally comes with... Because it's DVD, they can kind of allow for them to be that small, but yeah. There are literally 35 films in here. And they're not all of his films, of course. They go all the way up to Invictus in 2009. But there's a lot of good ones here. Like, you've got most recently, like, Space Cowboys and Gran Torino, but then you've also got stuff like the Deadpool and Sudden Impact, and even, you know, the whole Dirty Harry films. You know, it's some pretty good films in there. And then the second half of the collection is this one, this box set, which you got all these. I don't know what the specialty of these ones are. I think they're just some of his early films, I guess. Because of course you got The Beguiled, The Breezy, Coogan's Bluff, The Ivor Sanction, High Plains Drifter, Joe Kidd, Play Misty for Me, and Two Mules for Sarah. For Sister Sarah or Sister Sarah. Yeah, it's an interesting box set. I don't know what the big dealio is with it, but that's just the thing. It's a box set. Yeah, I guess most of these, because I have some musical collections here, like Paul McCartney, the Beatles, and Elvis. I won't go over which ones they are. The most detailed we have is the Beatles. Because Dad loves the Beatles. I mean, I'm very fond of the Beatles as well. And we have a lot of Beatles films. Yeah, even like the most recent 8 Days a Week, which I saw in theatre. Haha, it's a documentary. So what do we have next? Let's go with Errol Flynn. Or not. Let's actually jump something different. See, this one I haven't written down, but you can get the idea of it. Something I grew up with as a kid. Oh, there it is. Doctor Who. You got kind of a bootleggy original one. 2 actual original Tom Baker films. City of Death and the Hand of Fear. I don't know which one I prefer. And then, of course, you got O.G. Eccleston. Where's the camera? There it is. O.G. Eccleston, David Tennant, all the way to showing off all those, and then down to here, where you've got The End of Time, and you've got all of Matt Smith. I think all of Matt Smith. God, I'm doing really bad camera work here. Sorry about that. And we ended with like Last Christmas. We ended with Last Christmas pretty much because we haven't bought any since we grew up with Doctor Who. I actually think, if I'm not wrong, we grew up with OG Doctor Who back when we used to go to Tassie a lot. And even because it was just on ABC, it was just classic Doctor Who. And I think we were watching it before the new episodes of Doctor Who came on. At least I recall watching a Tom Baker episode like maybe a week before we watched the first ever episode of the new version, Rose. And, you know, we've been hooked ever since because we were kids when we watched it. We loved it. Since the Matt Smith era, I've been very kind of more negative about it, but that's because I was, I was a teenager at the time, so it really didn't... It had too many childish antics that didn't really appeal to me, and there wasn't enough adult-like stuff, and it was just all about, like, the fanfic for, like, and, all this lore for, like, teenagers who just get obsessed and crazy about it, so that's, like, the best I could get into, and even then, I didn't really care much. And since the 50th anniversary, I haven't really given much of a shit about Doctor Who. I've still watched it since, but I haven't given much of a care for it. This latest season, I've only watched, like, the first 3 episodes of, because I couldn't be bothered watching the rest. I might get around to it someday, but the next season's in 2020, so I've got plenty of time to skip it. As I said before, Errol Flynn's our next one, so we've got the Signature Collection, which is quite a nice 5-movie set box set plus an extra disc. Comes with Captain Blood, Dodge City, The Private Lives of Elizabeth and Essex, The Seahawk, They Died with Their Boots On, The Adventures of Errol Flynn is the documentary that comes at the end of it. His most famous film, I'd say, Robin Hood. A pretty good version of Robin Hood, I'd say. It's a 2-disc edition. It's all Technicolor. Looks pretty rad, actually. Then you've got The Charge of the Light Brigade with a really kind of awful looking picture there, photo focus. There you go. Look at like the side of his face. It's like a bad tanning process. Adventures of Don Juan. I guess that's it. And Dive Bomber. I don't know, I wouldn't say that DVDs are insignificant. Like, they're still easy and cheap to buy. Sometimes, even new films new films, of course, are still released on DVD, but some films that have very limited theatrical run and don't get enough money back only release on DVD in certain countries and not Blu-ray. So, like, I got, like, Brigsby Bear and Ingrid Goes West, which came out, like, last year. No, not last year. 2017, I should say, because this is probably going to be released in 2019. Happy New Year. Yeah, and some of them I had to get on DVD instead of Blu-ray because they didn't come out in Blu-ray in Australia. I don't care much. Yeah, it's just, it's the kind of thing where originally when it came to Blu-rays, we were like, oh, it depends if the film needed the Blu-ray, but like, since I got a job and I can pay for this stuff myself, I've voted to go with Blu-rays for a lot of these films, so yeah, that's a thing. Alright, what do we have next? Oh boy, my favourite. Where are you, boy? Easily the best TV show of all time, Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. Go check it out. It's all on YouTube. All like 6 episodes. Next up we have a collection of collections. Not even a pun, that's legit. Godzilla. Hey, thumbnail time. There we go. Yeah, so there are 4 collections here. So this is the Showa Collection 1, or Showa. It's like S-H-O-W-A. I like to call it Showa. It sounds weird, but it's legit. So you got, of course, OG Godzilla, which comes with both the American and the Japanese version of Godzilla. I've only watched the Japanese version of Godzilla. Then you've got Mothra vs. Godzilla, Godzilla Invasion of the Astro Monster, which is King Ghidorah's first ever showing. Godzilla vs. Ibira, Son of Godzilla, and Godzilla Destroyer Monsters. Originally I had Godzilla Destroyer Monsters on DVD by itself. That was the first ever Godzilla film I'd ever watched, and that had all of them. I absolutely love that film. It's very strange, but I really like it. My only disappointment with these collections is that it doesn't have any more movies. Like, there's still a lot more movies. Like, there are a lot more Mothra and Rodan ones and whatever. All these ones feature Godzilla. There are like maybe a few films that aren't in these collections that still feature Godzilla. I'll probably never be able to watch them anyway. Next up we have the Showa Classics Collection 2. Which comes with Godzilla All Monsters Attack, Godzilla vs. Hedorah, Godzilla vs. Gigan, Godzilla vs. Megalon, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, and Terror of Mechagodzilla. So you kind of get the idea that a lot of these are Godzilla versus someone else, because that's what they were. They were originally a commentary, well, they still kind of are a commentary on, nuclear bombs and shit, but then they evolved into just being giant monsters fighting the movie. Next up we have the Heisei or Heisei series. I got all these at JB, by the way. You got Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, Godzilla vs. Mothra, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, and Godzilla vs. Destroyer. I think this one has the least amount, which is interesting. But again, it's just a different era. Usually the different eras are to do with who's producing the films. I mean, they're all still Toho. But it's usually like there's a different type of Godzilla. And like there's different timelines and stuff. Like if you look at it online, like it starts with the first Godzilla, then some of them branch out from the original, or they just spin off from the original. It's just a whole clusterfuck of different continuities and stuff. I don't really pay attention. It's just, oh look, Godzilla's back, and he's either good or he's bad, and he's attacking or defending. Godzilla films, that's what they are. And last but not least, we have Godzilla the Millennium Series box set. I do have the most recent Godzilla film, not the American one. The Shin Godzilla, which I really like. This one comes with Godzilla 2000. I've watched all of these. Godzilla 2000, Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack. That's one title. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla in bracket 3. Godzilla Tokyo SOS, which is a direct sequel to Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. And Godzilla Final Wars, where he fights, 1998 Godzilla in Sydney and kills him. It is pretty rad. These movies are great. They're kind of schlocky. They get schlockier. But some of them, like, the later ones become really martial arts things, like fucking Matrix stuff. It's really weird. Alright, first up we have The Birds. I wonder if you know who I'm talking about now. Then we have Dial M for Murder. I watched this in its original 3D. When it first came out, no. They had a rerun at, like, the Nova, and they showed it in 3D, and it's the best 3D film I've ever seen, because instead of things coming out at you, it shows it everything as a box. So, like, as if you're looking in on an actual room, but you can see every inch and corner of the room. It is so cool. These are all Hitchcock films, obviously. The Man Who Knew Too Much, or The Man Who Knew Too Little, which is not a film with him. It's a film with Bill Murray, I think. I've seen that one. And then there's Marnie with Sean Connery, apparently, and Tippi Hedren. Probably his best film, North by Northwest. At least it's my favourite of his. Psycho, of course, which is, again, also arguably his best film. Rope, which is a pretty good film, actually, for it all being pretty much in a one-shot thing. And Rear Window, probably, I don't know, I think North by Northwest is my favourite, Rear Window is my second favourite, and Psycho being my third, just because... I know it's a pretty bold statement comparing that. We still got, like, Shadow of a Doubt, which is pretty good. Strangers on a Train, even. To Catch a Thief, as well. And finally, Vertigo, which, I mean, is also a really top film. That's why it's hard to say, like, compared to, like, his four best are pretty much North by Northwest, Rear Window, Psycho, and Vertigo. It's like, which one is the best? And, of course, still personal opinion. Maybe, I don't know, Vertigo's still really good. I don't know, it depends on what you believe is rewatchable, because Psycho isn't overly rewatchable. Like, once Marion Crane dies, like, not really much else happens until you get to the end, because you don't really care about the other characters. Like Vertigo, you care about James Stewart throughout the whole film, same as Rear Window. And North by Northwest is just a great thriller. And, like, you know, mystery film, whatever. Additionally, we also have the Alfred Hitchcock Directs TV collection. So, of course, Alfred Hitchcock made a TV show, a few TV shows, you know, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, the Alfred Hitchcock Hour and stuff like that. And this collection, which goes for 500 minutes, shows, like, all the episodes that he directed. I've seen a few of them, and they're pretty good, you know. I mean, I do have a Gene Kelly collection, but, like, I mean, that's got, like, Singing in the Rain in it, and, like, The Three Musketeers. So, like, it's a noted collection, because I put it down there. I think I'll jump to this one. There it is. Firstly, probably for those wondering, why don't you have all the earlier Marvel films? Well, I do. It's the Avengers collection on DVD. Comes with the Avengers, which we have on Blu-ray, Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, and Captain America. All in this one nifty little DVD collection. Yeah, it's not the best that they could look like, but it's the films. What life should revolve around is the Marx Brothers, yeah, because we have their collection as well, which is like At the Circus, The Big Store, Go West, At the Races, and Night of the Opera. I've seen 3 of these ones. Yeah, they're At the Races, Night of the Opera, and At the Circus. They're pretty good. And lastly, we've got 2 collections. One of which is the Francois Truffaut collection, which has actually a good number of his films. You got, what, The 400 Blows, Jules and Jim, The Soft Skin, 2 English Girls, A Gorgeous Girl Like Me, The Last Metro, The Woman Next Door, and finally Sunday, aka Confidentially Yours. So it's a pretty good collection, all on DVD, you know. And of course, to remain boring, the last collection we actually have is the John Wayne collection, but I mean, they're all over in the far corner, and there's a bike in the way, so I'm kind of, like, not really eager to get them out right now. So instead I'll just read out which ones we have. I guess. I mean, we got The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, The Sons of Katie Elder, The Shootist, which I believe is kind of the best one he did. True Grit, which is argued to be the best one he did. Blue Steel, No Substitute for Victory, Rio Bravo, and The Searchers. So yeah, that's the DVD collection. Looks closer than I actually am. It's pretty good. I like these films. I mean, for the most part, I'm happy to have a lot of these films just to have them. I mean, yeah, some I have to have on DVD because I can't get them on Blu-ray, but at the same time, you know, eventually they'll remaster a lot of Technicolor films onto 4K, and they will probably look absolutely stunning. Until that day, see you later, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, if you like this video, feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more. We have a lot more videos like this, where we have the Director's Collection for Blu-ray and 4K, which is known as the Director's Collection Part 1 and Part 2, or Part 1 A to J and Part 2 K to Z. And yeah, then we've got, you know, the 4K UHD collection, the 4K collection on Blu-ray, the box set collection, the VHS collection, all that jazz. My top 10 favourite films collection, well, not collection, but just my top 10 favourite films, you know, all that stuff. So yeah, feel free to watch them. Bye.